So with our week 2 video, we're talking about respiration and fermentation and the difference between both of those. Um, so with the flow of energy from glucose molecule to ATP during respiration, um, the electrons from glucose are given to oxygen molecules, where then energy gets released and is yielded. Glucose goes through a couple pathways to get to where it makes ATP. First goes through glycolysis, where it happens in the cytoplasm, and then it goes through a TCA cycle, eventually to the ETC, which is the electron transport chain, and then this where it eventually makes ATP, which is energy. So it takes energy from electrons and glucose, and it yields phosphate bonds and ATP. Using oxygen, that's the biggest part of this, is that it uses oxygen molecules. With the flow of energy with fermentation, from glucose to acids and alcohols. So let's start with alcohol. It uses glucose molecules. And yields ethanol. So CO2 is released from the pyruvate and is converted to ACT, which is reduced by NADH to ethanol, where it regenerates the supply of NAD plus needed for glycolysis to continue. And with lactic acid, glucose yields lactate or lactic acid. How it does this is pyruvate is reduced by NADH to form lactate with no release of CO2. So basically, just the difference is that with respiration, glucose and oxygen combine to yield CO2, water, and energy, which is ATP. And the difference would be that fermentation does not use oxygen at all. The ATP is produced, but with fermentation, sugars and other organic fuel are degraded without oxygen.